Next on Worcester News Tonight, it's opening night for the Spencer Fair. Many were out to enjoy the annual tradition. Plus, a hearing at the State House considers changes to gun laws in the state. One local paintball supply shop says the possible changes could close his business. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. A Labor Day weekend mainstay in central Massachusetts. The Spencer Fair returns for 4 days this weekend. The annual gathering has been entertaining and feeding people for more than a century. Our Kim Jandro was there today and has more.
The Spencer Fair has become an annual tradition for some central Massachusetts families, even for some who've moved away.
I live in Attleboro now, so I trek down an hour and a half to come down here, and these are my two kiddos, and now she comes down with hers too.
Yeah. I'm here in Spencer, so it's nice. It's an easy, fun, local thing to do.
For the last 131 years, people have been riding carnival rides, eating fair food, as well as enjoying some long-standing traditions.
Our demolition derbies, that's the big thing, especially the Friday night derby. That's a big one. A lot of local people just look forward to every year getting their cars out there.
Robert Knight has been president of the Spencer Agricultural Association for 6 years. He's been working the fair since 1972.
It's the people. Out and about throughout the year, as soon as I say something about the Spencer Fair, it seems like everybody knows the Spencer Fair.
However, this year, the threat of Triple E is a concern. The Department of Public Health found the disease in neighboring East Brookfield earlier this summer. Spencer's Board of Health recommended canceling all nighttime activities in town. The town isn't listed by DPH as a critical risk zone, but organizers are taking it into consideration this weekend.
And we are going to have spray available at all the ticket booths coming in, and then have a couple booths set up throughout the fair for spray. Hope that people wear the appropriate clothing when they come.
Mosquitoes aside, fairgoers were excited to ring in this year's fair.
Sometimes we run into a lot of the people we grew up with that we never see, and it's just like a nice little reunion and tradition.
Nothing's ever the same. So just when you think it's the same old, there's always something different. You just got to look for it.
Now, only half of the fair opened up on Thursday. Friday will be the first day you can actually experience all of the vendors, food, and entertainment. The Spencer Fair runs through Labor Day, starting at 10 a.m. and ending at 10 p.m. In Spencer, I'm Kim Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
A new statewide program is encouraging teens to build healthy relationships based on respect. The program is called Respectfully. Thursday, Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito sat down with a group of teenagers at the YMCA to discuss healthy friendships and relationships. The social media campaign aims to hammer home the ideas of trust, honesty, and mutual respect. Lieutenant Governor says a campaign like this hasn't been brought to the state in more than 20 years.
And to give them some tools to work with around issues like name calling and drama and intensity and jealousy. Things that, if gone unchecked, could lead to emotional behaviors and stresses and anxieties that can be very unhealthy.
For more information, you can visit the state's website or MassDPH's YouTube page. To kick off the Worcester Pride celebration, Tower Hill Botanic Gardens held Pride Day Thursday. Different community and advocacy groups had tables set up, including Worcester Pride, LGBT Asylum Task Force, and the Worcester Historical Museum. The event was going on during Tower Hill's Free After 3, meaning free admission after 3 o'clock. Tower Hill says they wanted to make sure it was as inclusive and accessible as possible.
It's important for Tower Hill and also for Worcester in general to be an inclusive and accepting place, to show that we are a city and an organization for all people. Tower Hill, our slogan is a garden for all, and I think of Worcester as the same.
There are a number of events happening throughout the area for Worcester's Pride celebration, including a parade on Saturday, September 7th. Activating space with positive activity was the goal for a pop-up plaza in the Main South neighborhood. The event featured family-friendly games and activities as well as live music. It's part of Mass Development's Transformative Development Initiative, a program for gateway cities designed to accelerate economic growth within focus districts.
We're trying to really build, a good reputation that this is a great neighborhood where you can come and enjoy the things that happen here.
They're hoping to promote more activities for community engagement and strengthen businesses in the area. Several gun control bills are discussed at the State House this week. One looks at the possibility of increasing identifiers on toy guns, so there's no confusion if ever involved in a crime. But one local business owner says it could seriously affect his store. Our Gretchen LaRosa has more.
A proposed bill could potentially change the game for imitation firearms in Massachusetts. The bill calls for increasing markings and visibility on toy guns so they are more easily identified as fake.
Right now, a lot of the toy guns and things that are out there have to have like an orange tip so that it's more easily distinguishable. But sometimes those things can be broken off, painted over. So I think the intent of this bill is to make it so it's more noticeable the fact that it would be a toy or a replica versus a real firearm.
Dudley Police Chief Stephen Wayner says his department often responds to calls where replica firearms were used in a crime, and it becomes a matter of safety for both officers and civilians.
If you show up and somebody has a toy and you don't know if it's a toy, you have to assume it's real, and that's when the real problem is going to occur.
Army veteran Steve Herbert owns 2 paintball retail stores. He says the bill's language needs to be changed, or he could end up having to shut down his business.
The law itself, as written, outlaws anything that could reasonably be perceived to be a gun. That's every toy gun that we have in the state. That's all the products I sell.
The bill recommends changes to imitation firearms to discourage use in an illegal manner.
The purpose of the law is to avoid a potential conflict where somebody has a airsoft gun or a paintball gun and a policeman thinks it's real and injures that person or kills that person, and that's something nobody wants.
Herbert says paintball and airsoft guns are recreational sports, and enthusiasts could suffer if the laws change too much.
I think it's detrimental to thousands of people participating in the sport in Massachusetts. They'd all be losing this opportunity.
A field of purple flags honors those who have died from opioid overdoses in 2018. UMass Memorial Medical Center provides resources for people in recovery. They say the goal of the flags is to encourage people to talk about the disease and help people who may need it. Our Olivia Lemon has the story.
2,032 purple flags line the quad at UMass Memorial Medical Center.
Each flag represents a person in the Commonwealth that has unfortunately died tragically to an opioid overdose or something related.
Richard Kenny is a recovering addict and recovery coach at UMass Memorial. He says the flags raise awareness about the opioid epidemic across the state.
It's a huge number, and it grows a lot, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down, but we're doing everything we can to battle it by supporting those in recovery.
Andy Martin was among dozens planting flags. The Worcester man has been sober for more than 7 years.
The way that it is now, people are just, they're dying. I started using in the 90s, and so I've seen it progress to a point where it wasn't like this 25 years ago. Now it's just so out of control, and a lot of addicts get the mindset that it won't happen to them.
Martin lost all of his siblings to the disease, a sister and 2 brothers. He says he wished they stayed in recovery, but doesn't think differently of them because of it.
I might have lost them, but I know that they're with me, and they're looking down on me, and I know that they're proud of me.
Both Martin and Kenny hope their voices can make a difference in someone's life who may be struggling with the disease.
We need to just be there, and talk about these things.
Recovery is possible. Like it does happen. We do recover, and there's beautiful people that are recovering.
Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
A local business owner is being credited for his honesty. One of his customers didn't realize she left hundreds of dollars behind. Many say they aren't surprised he did the right thing, but don't know if others would do the same. Our Chandler Walsh has more.
David Delaney couldn't believe it when money fell from one of his machines.
It was literally falling out of the dryer, and then I took a pair of jeans or something, and I shook it and it all fell on the floor.
The Suds City owner was washing one of his regular customers' clothes and counted $530 she'd been saving in a pair of jeans. He texted her right away, telling her to come back to the Millbury business because she left something valuable.
She got very teary-eyed. She was very grateful.
Delaney says the woman was storing money there for her kids' Christmas gifts. She had no idea she accidentally put the jeans with the rest of her laundry.
I would much rather hide my money at home in a sock, so I definitely feel like something like that would happen to me.
Delaney lives by the saying, pay it forward. He does laundry for people who can't afford it and donates thousands of pounds of food as well as winter clothes for people in need.
If each of us give back a little bit, we can make the world a better place together.
Dinah Irwin stopped by the shop Thursday to donate winter clothes inspired by Delaney's actions.
He really warms my heart, and if I can help somebody out with extras that I have in my closet, that's what I'm going to do.
Customers doubt others would have been as honest as Delaney.
Thank God for people like him in the community.
I feel like even 90% of our world would have not even given it a second thought, pocketed it, and dipped.
But Delaney says he sees the best in people.
I'm just one of many in the Worcester County area that would do the exact same thing.
Delaney has owned Sud City for a little over a year now. This week he started collecting winter jackets of all sizes for a coat drive. It's another way he hopes to pay it forward. In Millbury, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
Who can eat a 5-pound whoopie pie in under 10 minutes? That was the question at Gerardo's Bakery this afternoon. The West Boylston location held the contest to raise money for YMCA's Resource Center in Worcester. The organization helps families with autistic children. Gerardo's manager, Chris Halliday, says they work with autism foundations often, and we're happy they came up with a fun and creative idea to help the cause.
We were bringing one upstairs one day, going to bring it to the customer, and I just came up with it out of nowhere. Said it to my little cousin who works here. He thought it'd be a great idea, and we ran it by Gerardo. He said go for it, as long as it's for a good cause. He was down for it.
One of the contestants, Chris Nichols, says he saw the post on Facebook and jumped right into the idea of participating. He says he went into the contest with a strategy of how to eat a whoopie pie.
I can eat more of the cake than the cream. I think the cake weighs more than the cream does. So they're going to weigh it, see who has the thing, but just eating it like that and hopefully being able to drink enough to keep things going down, you know.
The top 3 winners won gift certificates to Gerardo's. 45 schools across the state are the recipients of the state's Skill Capital Grant. $12 million will be split between the schools. One of them is Worcester Technical High School. Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito was at the school today. She says the goal is to help schools invest in up-to-date equipment and give students an advantage in their fields.
We feel that this is essential for Massachusetts to continue to be competitive and to really create the talent that's needed and which is the driving force behind the growth in our economy.
A number of the grantees are implementing in regular high schools what are called innovation pathways, which are career pathways that allow students who are otherwise not able to access the sort of career training that you get in a vocational school to get access to equipment and to programs that will make them ready for employment and for post-secondary education in technical fields, even if they're in a regular high school.
Worcester Technical High School has received more than $1.5 million in skills capital grants over the last 3 years.